Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode here at Sobriety University. Class is back in session, and today's video is going to be the third video in the four-part series on quitting caffeine. And in specific, this video is going to be about the how. So how I quit, some strategies I use to make the process a lot easier and a lot less painful. So let's just dive right in. The first thing that really stood out in quitting this addiction was thinking about the mistakes I made in the past. So what are some of those mistakes? Well, I think I tried too hard. Pretty much. I put so much pressure on to succeed and be perfect at it. And anytime I would relapse, it just felt like the world was crumbling down. Of course, this wasn't true. However, that's the emotional state I got into. And it really made the process a little bit traumatic for other addictions, not for caffeine. So with this one, I really was focused on letting it happen naturally, not trying to force it, letting it go slow. And when I would relapse, to enjoy it. And so might be asking like, dude, what? Telling me to enjoy the process of relapse? And yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, because when I didn't enjoy it, it would just be like this very stressful process, and I was doing it anyway. And so I was like, now I'm like, might as well just like have fun with it and kind of, it's almost like saying goodbye to a friend that's moving across the country. It's like we have a few days left with each other. We might as well have fun and enjoy the time we have left, and because eventually we won't be seeing each other anymore. And there can be an attachment to addiction for sure, and different substances. And I think it is important to remember that there are positive things that come from it. So it's not black and white. And however, I think the real reason why I decided to quit is because the negatives did outweigh the positives by a huge amount. It was still, though, important to say goodbye to those positives in a loving way. And this was a way to do that by going slow, not trying to force things, taking it easy. So that was the first mistake I corrected in this addiction. And so now I'm going to be talking about the strategy. And of course, this is going to be different for everybody. The purpose of this is just kind of give a little bit of an outline of a way that worked that, again, did not cause all this stress and emotional tension and pain and stuff. And it happened a lot faster, which was kind of surprising, because in the past it would just, take so long. And with one addiction I had was sugar. It took about 2 years because I was trying to force it. I was not being gentle. Every time I would relapse, I would just go into the shame spiral. And so then when I went back out to try again, there was just so much pressure to succeed. And it was almost like there was a gun to the back of the head saying, like, if you relapse again, this trigger's going off. And it was like, whoa, man, just like, come on, can I have a break and enjoy this cupcake? It's like, no, you may not. And so with this one, it's like, okay, no guns, no angry, authoritative parenting. Just, hey, it's gonna take a while, and I'm gonna be here with you. And that really helps. So I guess that could be another strategy too, is the mental talk and having that approach of gentleness. So that's one that just popped up right now. Back to the strategy I was referring to, and the real kind of meat of this is, again, starting slow. So the first step I took was to remove one instance when I would have caffeine and not have that caffeine. So I would go to this bake shop, get these keto dark chocolate peanut butter bars every day, and dark chocolate has caffeine in it. So that was the source I was getting caffeine from, the main source. And so I was like, I'm just gonna not go for this one instance, not planning it like for a month or for once a week I gotta do this, or every other day. It was just this one time. And over time, as I practiced that, kind of spontaneously, just saying, okay, this one time, I'm not gonna go, and do something else. It became, a lot easier, kind of like building up a muscle, and I felt pretty good about what I was doing. I felt some kind of self-confidence rise up, some inner trust developing, knowing that, hey, I can maybe get away from this, and this doesn't have to control everything I do. And again, I knew this was going to be a process. However, those little wins are definitely what added up. So the next step I took is, once that got easy, it was time to go a full day. And why a full day? Because the previous step was pretty easy. So with a lot of things in life, I found that once something becomes a little too comfortable, that's when it's time to step into the unknown and kind of get out of the comfort zone a little bit. And so this is kind of the strategy I had with this addiction was, okay, I had mastered going one instance without. It's time to take to the next level and go for a full day. And when I was facing that full day, I started to feel that anxiety and that fear again, and that uncertainty, whether it was possible to do it or not. And that was a great indicator that it was time to take the next step and do it. So stepping into that full day, I remember it was a little daunting, and the whole day I was kind of just like, just get through. Again, there was no expectation that I had to do this every other day going forward, or this was gonna be, I gotta do it once a week. It was just this one instance, being in the moment, taking it head on, and lo and behold, it got easier. could go a whole day without, on a pretty regular basis. Again, I wasn't doing it like religiously. It was just like, again, the process was starting to happen naturally, where I would be like, you know, today I'm not feeling caffeine, and I'm going to take this opportunity to not have caffeine and just run with it. So you guys can probably guess what the next step was. Once that got easier, stepped up to 2 days. Again, facing that discomfort. Once 2 days got easier, so on and so forth, until I got to about 6 days, and it was pretty consistent. I was hitting these 6-day streaks, and I was really starting to notice the difference between having caffeine and not having caffeine. And when I was not having caffeine, I just noticed so much more benefit, and just everything I was kind of hoping for that would happen when I was not consuming caffeine was coming true. And every time I would go back then, I would just see this huge just kind of dissonance and difference from not having it. I would just feel this inner anxiety and just this restlessness. And it was just so fascinating to think about, because before that was just how I was living every day. And now it was like this foreign thing that was I felt a lot of discomfort around it. I think, again, because I had that experience it without, now going back, it was like, oh, this isn't pleasant. I don't want this. I don't want to be just like shaking and just feeling all jittery and stuff. Like, wow. And that was a real sign then that it was time to try to let this go for good. And lo and behold, we're here today, and it worked. It just, the slow and steady strategy, tortoise wins the race, and I definitely believe it's true. And now with some of the other addictions I'm tackling, I'm implementing that same thing. I can't say I'm perfectly not being hard when I slip, knowing though that, okay, maybe this is okay to enjoy it. Having that thought now has definitely made the processes a little bit easier, and it has taken the edge off, basically. And that's kind of what we're going for here, is, again, to make it as easy as possible. And so the question I pose for you today is, what could be the next step in that evolution of overcoming your addiction that may cause some discomfort? So that was a little wordy answer, a wordy question there. So that was worded a little Yoda-ish. What would the next step for you be that gets you out of your comfort zone? Not saying you gotta take it, I'm just saying something to think about. So the next part is gonna be the last video in this 4-part series, and it's gonna be about what is life like today. I think this video is gonna be very important in kind of seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there are benefits that are gonna come from it. It's not just doom and gloom. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and best of luck on your journey with overcoming this addiction to caffeine and/or any other addiction you're working on. I know it's tough, and I commend anyone that's watching and going through this, and you got it. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.